that?
What was any of that? Hey,
just happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
please still be the
That was
intro,
amazing.
please.
You gotta tell me what it's gonna open on my face.
Hey everyone, hi, it's Jeremy Dooley, and welcome to the show after the show, which we call Chump Change. This is where we hear all the stories we didn't get to hear in the actual show, and if that first intro isn't in there, I'm rioting. So there were a couple stories we didn't get to hear. There was a lot of truths we got to hear, Gavin. Yeah. But yeah, I want some details about the stories we already heard, and then definitely the stories we didn't get to hear. So the one we had the audience vote on was the running away from a volcano. So Maggie spun it, so it was about an elementary school science fair. Congratulations
Genius.
on your win, by the way. But Noelle, that is really your story. So what happened there? Was it a real volcano?
So yeah, it was a real volcano. Maybe it's because I look like I was born near a volcano, but they got it right anyway. So yeah, it was a real volcano. I was born in the Philippines, and the volcano is called Mount Pinatubo. And I'm an older gentleman, so back in the good old 1991 is when it just erupted. So I just remember literally we always had earthquakes because we lived next to a volcano. So earthquakes were very normal to us. So I just remember experiencing like volcanoes and then having to evacuate and literally flee, because I remember like going outside and the volcano was like maybe 10 or so miles away, so you can see it from like my front yard. And I just remember seeing the volcano erupt and then seeing it on the news and then having to leave on like a battleship and then having to be airlifted from the battleship because my dad was in the Air Force. And so being airlifted from the battleship onto a helicopter and then coming to the States this way. So yeah, you know, that happened.
Wait, so was that your official, was that your move to the States? Was that like when you...
I mean, like, because my dad was in the Air Force, we like... So I think because it was so like long ago, and like obviously I didn't have the memories of like a 4-year-old. I think I was born in the Philippines. We moved to the States, but then moved back to the Philippines, and then that volcano was like, "Nah, fam, you're going to the States and you're staying there." So that's pretty much like, so that's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
My favorite part of the story is that obviously you could see this volcano. It was very close to you. You're like, oh shit, the volcano's going off. Let me just check that on the news. All right, let's go.
You know, because like that was just the thing. You know, like you kind of just see like, you know, like as a kid, nothing really, at least to me, nothing made sense. So I just remember just kind of like seeing the volcano on a TV and then like looking out the window and seeing the exact same volcano, and I'm just like. So that's like right here, right? Like that's now. Like this is real life. So yeah,
it's like the Spider-Man gift. Volcanoes are pointing at each other, like that's you.
You're the volcano. Was it mostly like, was it like smoke and ash, or was there actual like lava? And
so I'll be honest, I think it was mostly smoke and ash, but I honestly like don't remember the lava bit, but I do remember we had to take refuge in this like school gym for a little bit, like over like the course of 2 nights. And, you know, again, when you're a kid, you don't know that the ash is poisonous. And I remember my mom, who is very superstitious, by the way, we were in the gym and she had this glass jar that we still have. And she's like, "Hey, Noelle, go outside and collect that ash." And as a kid, I was like, oh, it must be like snow. So I remember running out the door and just getting barraged by poisonous gas and dust. I'm just like, but now we have it. So, you know.
Now we have it. Now we got a jar of ash.
I definitely thought you were going to go outside and stick your tongue out and go like, I was like, no, don't do that.
I went outside, just opened my eyes, and just volcanic ash right here. It was all there. And I just remember coming back in just covered in it and just like, "Mom, what is happening? Why am I burning right now?" So, you know.
So you said, you were like, you did say your mom is very superstitious because that was the point of your story. But so Maggie, that story is actually yours. And so what happened with that?
So my mom isn't superstitious, but she was heavily sedated because I was birthed by C-section. and she was sharing a room with an African American lady. So the nurses brought me to my mother, and she refused to take me because she thought I was the African American lady's baby because she thought I was black.
which, if you sit here and look at our screens, like the whitest white right now.
Yeah.
I gave no emotional response to that story. I just nodded my head and went, mm-hmm.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't blame her, but it's just like, okay, I guess to set up our relationship.
God. I love that no one would come up with that either. Like, no one would come up with that lie. So that would definitely be the truth.
I also love like the way Maggie just said that. It's like a telltale game. Like her mother's like, no, it just says like Maggie will remember that.
Do you bring that up often? Every time like you and your mom get mad at each other, you're like, remember that time? Do you remember that time you didn't want me?
We pretend to joke about it.
There you go. One of those like
real
moments. No.
Yeah. It's a fun relationship we have.
Yeah. Was the doctor like, no, I insist.
Yeah, no, she like just kept pushing me away is what I've been told. And like, I guess my dad wasn't anywhere to be seen because, you know, it's the 80s. Where would a dad be? No, I'm just kidding. But sorry, I'm getting sexist
Fucked
and
up,
racist on
true.
this.
Let's just check all the boxes.
Yeah. What other xenophobic? How can I tie that in?
Well, I think you're being sexist, but your mom was racist.
Yeah, I guess
It
that's
runs in
fair.
the family. Is all I'm hearing.
I kind of wonder if she was able to get people like, was she able to convince doctors like they're bringing you and they're like, no, that's hers, and they're just like, no, I think this is yours. Are you sure?
Like, I don't even feel like I need to double check.
I would have just like skipped out on like after a couple tries of like clearly this woman's not going to take this baby. I would have just pretended you were something else and been like, oh, are you hungry, ma'am? Have this baguette. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, why don't you hold on to that for a little bit? Maybe rock it back and forth.
Let's just pretend the baby's something else and see where it goes and see what happens. God damn. So and then Gav, I want to hear a little more context to the flaming log story. So Lindsay thought that maybe you were with Jeff. Were you with Jeff? No,
this was probably like 2004. Yeah, it was 2004 because I just cut my hair for getting my first job, so I was like 16. I don't know why that's just why I remember the year. And we met up with these. I was on holiday with a friend. We met up with these random people we found on a beach because we were just walking around. We're like drinking, you know, it's like that age where you're sort of drinking and not old enough yet. And these Dutch guys had made a fire, and we were all like jumping over the fire and like doing rolls and stuff. And I just picked up the biggest log, and it was on fire. I was waving it around, and I was just spinning in a circle, and it just snapped off. And one of the Dutch guys was just like lounging on the beach, and it was at night, and the big ember part, flaming part, just hit him right in the face, and it exploded in sparks. Honestly, for a split second, it looked like the Doctor regenerating. He was just made of light, and it went, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And he was like, "Ah!" And then he got up, jumped up, and he had all these black marks across his face. But he wiped it off, and it just came right off. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, yeah. He was like, I don't think I'm burnt. And it just, all the char like wiped off. And he was like, that was awesome. And we were just, everything was fine somehow.
That's crazy. As you described that, I was like, that's how wars start. Is one European nation hurls a burning log at another.
Everything about it was quite satisfying. Like the sound was satisfying. The way it looked really nice. Obviously, he had a brief amount of pain and, you know, fear, but everything worked out great.
Tell me you guys like shared a beer after that or something. Like, there had to have been some kind of camaraderie afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. It was bonded for life.
Does this remind you at all of the kid in college who lit his face on fire at a party?
I I almost said his name. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And then how he taught me to blow fire, and then I lit myself on fire at my 21st
I know. I was
birthday
like, God
party.
damn it, Lindsay.
Thanks, man.
You told the story on Chump. Wasn't that your
did,
story
I did.
in the envelope
Yeah.
game? It was.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it
you know
was.
what? You didn't get it. I think Troy Baker got it and had to tell that
He did.
story as if it was his.
And, like,
yeah.
Yeah, 75% of the story he told was accurate. So well done, Troy. You nailed it.
Well, there's the bizarre true stories behind the lies, and a little more on Gavin's true story there. But yeah, so once again, thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for playing. Thanks for telling your stories. And hopefully we'll have all of you on again because you're all really, really good at this. So yeah, and thanks for watching. Well,
Maggie, you're great.
Earlier, that's the 3%.
thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to sign up on the site. I keep doing that plug at the end of Chump Change, but if they're watching it, they're already a first member, and I can't
Thank
remember
you.
that. Thank you for being a first member. Please continue to
You're the
be a
best.
first member. And we'll see you next week for more Chump and more Chump Change. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.